he had a chance to replace Jurgen Klopp at the start of the 2024-2025 season. But he opted and said he would remain with the club he had just led to a golden Bundesliga title. But 12 months down the line, it is at the end of the road for XABI Alonso, as is now set to be announced as the new coach of Real Madrid. Temple Gist brought to you by Azar Studios and Kani Sam and Baoji's Media. Otumba joins me in the studio as we look at one man who is set to take up the mantle of leadership as the of Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti's run as Real Madrid coach is almost certainly going to end at the end of this season, with Real Madrid going trophyless. It is not just going trophyless, it's the fact that they lost to their bitter rivals Barcelona not once, not twice, not three, but 4 times. If you add the preseason matches, that is 5 times in a season. Never has it happened in the history between these two clubs that one team has won all of the games played between the two teams in a single season, especially when they play more than 2 games in a season. Onkani Sam, XABI Alonso, the next Zinedine Zidane, or a step in the wrong direction?
Step in the wrong direction, if you ask me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Facts.
There we go.
Yeah, step in the wrong direction, if you ask me. Because of probably, I've actually watched football for long. I've been a sport person for the longest time, and I've seen a lot in sport. I think I could predict certain things with some amount of certainty.
You predicted Vincent Company won the league, remember?
That doesn't change the fact that he's poor. They're poor, you know it. They won the league because, if we've seen the Leverkusen of last season, that is just it now. Yeah, if we've seen the Leverkusen of last season this season, he would have actually won the league. And mind you, the Leverkusen team that we're talking about is an average team. Not a bogus, not your extra team.
Not a superstar team.
Not a superstar team, right? Their biggest guy was Arsenal reject, Granit Xhaka. Of course, he's an Arsenal reject if you ask me. Now, here is it, right? I've seen this kind of thing happen before. You know, after Madrid let go, trying to remember, is it Marcelo Lippi? No, I'm talking about Real Madrid. No. Is it Marcelo Lippi? Who was the guy in Madrid after he left? After the person's left, that was the coming of former Liverpool coach. Rafa. After Rafa, I think Zidane. Then this thing. Okay, Ancelotti was there at some point, right?
Yeah,
then he left.
Is it Luxembourg?
No, it was Mourinho. No, it was Mourinho, Ancelotti.
After Madrid let go Mourinho, Ancelotti came, didn't do too bad. Since Ancelotti left, they didn't get it right.
Until
Zidane came, they got it right. Zidane left. I think who came in after Zidane left? Ancelotti again, right?
Yeah,
but if you check it, they are coaches of almost the same pedigree, almost the same class. It wasn't a coach that was probably playing in some. Well, you could say they picked what was his name, Ancelotti from Everton. But before then, we know who Ancelotti was with AC Milan, how amazing he was. You understand? Now picking, I understand.
think they pick one Spain coach at some point, Madrid.
It has to be former Wolverhampton coach now.
Lipotigi, yeah.
The head coach of Qatar now.
Yeah. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Xavi. He looks like an amazing coach. In as much as he's not close to Arteta, if you ask me. Going by, Arteta might not have won anything, but going by, what I've actually seen from these two coaches, you understand the consistency. Arteta was consistent last year, still consistent this year. He might not win anything. I agree with you. I know the next day you go, with consistency, which anyway. But me, I'm talking about overall gameplay, impact. You understand overall gameplay. I don't say you go still ask waiting the impact and the overall gameplay amount to. But let's keep trophy aside, right? Let's look at the overall gameplay. Now, going to a team that had a terrible season, you expected to turn things around immediately. He might not have the time to say, okay, this is first season. You allow him to have some of the kind of team he wants to do this. And that's number one. Then number two, I've watched him play. That's what we call things working out for you without you doing so much. I think that was, it's not far from what I saw
with
him in Leverkusen. Okay. It's not far from.
Remember, he took Leverkusen when they were almost in relegation.
Yeah. I understand.
And then he went on almost a
where did Moyes
51 matches?
Where did Moyes took
a record in Europe?
Everton?
But he didn't win the league.
Of course, I understand. No, it was the following season that he won the league.
Yeah, but I'm saying
that season. Now
it took them from that position to qualify for Europe.
I understand.
Went on to win the league the following season.
The following season, I understand. So similar
got to the second round of the Champions League
and get knocked out easily. With, what's the name of the team that knocked him out? I'm trying to remember the name of the team. Okay, Bayern.
Yeah, Bayern knocked them
out. Knocked them out, right? Now he's moved to a different terrain completely. Fine, he was a player there. He understands this. I've actually been looking at. I've been trying to measure. I mean, I don't have anything that I used to measure in this, but comparing him with other managers, the impact I've seen from other managers, what they've been able to do, how they've been able to attract players and everything. I think he is a step in the wrong direction. He's a downgrade of what they have right now. I understand the desperation. Yes, they're used to winning. All of a sudden, they're not winning, so they need to. You know how it is now. At times, even if it's not broken because he didn't win or because the result didn't come out the way you wanted. You want to fix what is not broken. I think this is an attempt to fix what is not broken. Now, at the end of the day, because he's coming into a team that two major issues. Number one, is they've not been able to find a way of playing Vinicius and Kylian Mbappe. Will he be able to solve that riddle? Does he even look? Do you know how pale Kylian Mbappe? Vinicius is looking right now. Did you watch the last El Clasico on Sunday? Can you tell me one thing I remember that Kylian Mbappe? That Vinicius did. Then take you back to the Arsenal game, home and away. Can you remember any spectacular thing that Vinicius did? Because I don't know, maybe the effect of Kylian Mbappe. So that's one riddle. That's one issue that he needs to come on. So I don't know how he's going to handle that issue. Then we're talking about a team that did not win anything. They are used to they are traditional winners. They win every time. So he's expected to come and start winning. Will he be able to combine these two things together and keep the ground running? But when it comes to pedigree, he doesn't have the pedigree to step into that shoe. But like we said, who was Zidane before he stepped into that shoe? Nobody. I think that was his first job, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was going there.
Yeah.
It was a Real Sociedad. Of course, the B side of Real Sociedad. Talking about XABI Alonso for about
them to gain promotion
for about
to
2 seasons.
division.
Yeah, for about 2 seasons he spent there.
Yeah.
And then before he took that, big step to Bayern Leverkusen when Leverkusen were down, he steadied the ship. They remained. They finished at the top half of the Bundesliga, and the following season out of the blues, but they went on to win the Bundesliga without losing. In fact, that last season, he suffered just 2 defeats in about 60 games he played. One, was it? It was one. Just the final. It was just 1 defeat, just the final of
against Atalanta.
He suffered just 1 defeat in about close to 60 games the club played, because they won the DFB Pokal, they won the league, and lost the final of the, of course,
Europa League.
There. He's now left Bayern Leverkusen. Well, they finished second, not a distant point behind Bayern Munich, but still within 10 points behind Bayern Munich. Did not win the cup title, did not get to the final, and did not get to the Champions League.
It feels like a one-hit wonder.
They crashed out Arminia
Bielefeld very quite early.
Yeah.
But
so you understand my face.
With moving from Bayer Leverkusen to Real Madrid is a big step, no doubt about it. He could have joined Liverpool last season.
Yeah.
Because when Slot was going, when Klopp was going, there were conversations that was going to be XABI Alonso, but he came out specifically to say, no, I will stay 1 more season at Bayer Leverkusen. I want to remain there. Will he succeed, or you feel it's just going to be a step in the wrong direction too?
For me, I think I have a contrary opinion to what Sam has said. He said he doesn't feel he's good enough, to manage a club as big as Real Madrid. For me, you're talking about a player that won the Euro 2008, won the World Cup in 2010,
won the Euro twice,
won the Euros in 2012 as well. He won the Champions League with Liverpool in 2005, won it to Real Madrid in 2014. He won the FA Cup with Liverpool as well. And he's someone that a goalkeeper like Shea Given will never forget in a hurry. We all remember how he used to score those long-range strikes from the middle of the field. But for now, we cannot say...
coaching are 2 different things.
Yes, I'm going there. We cannot say he has been able to match his success as a player with that.
For now, he has.
Success as a manager.
So he has.
He has, if you ask me.
But Luis Enrique, at some point, managed Roma B side too, and look at where he is today. He's in the Champions League final. Not forgetting the fact that he has won multiple Champions League titles with Barcelona.
But something that I would like to continue. Get me right. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I say it's too early for him to move there. That's my conclusion here. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I think he's a step downward.
If a younger, Fabregas,
the circumstances matters too. That's what I tell you. That I mean, it is a crime, but what are the circumstances? Now, you're coming to me in Madrid that is low in spirit, and you're expected to spur them into winning immediately.
But that looks like the easier job for him to do, because everything he does right is success.
And we are talking about a player that knows Real Madrid in and out, because he played for them too.
To even give kudos to him is what under Rafa Benitez.
He has even managed Real Madrid under 14 side in the past.
Jose Mourinho. He's also worked under Jurgen. I beg your pardon.
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti and the coach of Manchester City, Pep Guardiola. So he's worked under in this era, or in the last 10 years, arguably
Work or
5.
played?
No, he has played under them.
Played under
them.
them.
Yeah, okay. For the played under them, I beg your pardon. Under these managers, for what it is, it could also shape you. When you see these managers as how they coach, how they also set up their team, it could shape you one way or the other. It could have a positive impact rather on you on becoming a manager. For me, I think that it might not be early. It might also be too early for him to take the step. But I think if the opportunity presents himself,
Go for it.
Go for
now,
it.
here's the big risk here, right? When you get it wrong, you go down forever and ever. That's the issue here. But if circumstances are right, the question is when will circumstances be right? When will the circumstances? When will everything be right? But like I said, if Madrid is winning this season, if Madrid is going to get out to this season, if you come next season and you fail to win anything, to some extent it's understood. Nobody's going to put more pressure on you. Not like they've been battered this season. Their image need to be redeemed.
They had to struggle.
They were battered by Arsenal.
They had to struggle against Real Mallorca last night.
Forget about even that's not even the main issue because you're talking about that they had a lot of during the regular
Injuries,
season.
yeah.
Not forget about injury.
10 players.
Forget about injury during the regular season. Injury was like a plague this season across all the league. It was like a plague this season from the Man United to Chelsea
Arsenal.
to Aston Villa. To Man City and the rest of them.
But Madrid
Arsenal.
suffered multiple.
Well, I agree with you. But
Multiple.
now the thing is this, right? Like I said, I don't know when circumstances is going to be right. It's a game of luck.
Yeah.
Humanly speaking, I feel it's a step, in the wrong direction. Probably would have gone back to the Zinedine Zidane, who come and steady the ship again, probably 1 year, win 1 or 2 trophies, then he can continue from there. Because Ancelotti was not hammered from the beginning because he made a team that wasn't that outstanding, but they were not doing bad. They were winning trophies. Now you're talking about losing to your biggest rival 4 times in the season. You're expected to turn this tide around immediately. And these guys are on a upward trajectory. They've been building very well. What they have in the next few years, they will dominate Europe. What we saw so many years ago, we might see it again. What we thought would never happen again with Barca, we might see it again. So you're coming in that era. You understand? What will you do? It means, the injury that if you're talking about, you know what ACL does to players. How many will come back?
Madrid had like 3 players who were suffered ACL. Militao,
Carvajal, yeah.
Come on, David Alaba. Now, his first signing definitely has to be, of course, the man from Liverpool.
It has been done. I think done and dusted already. It might not be
set
his
to
signing.
announced. Yeah, of course, which is set to be announced. Talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold. Jonathan Tah, his own player, is a player we have also had.
That guy is close to joining Bayern.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Of course, there's also conversation that with XABI Alonso now moving ship, that Jonathan Tah is looking like he wants to continue with his manager. Florian Wirtz said he will not move this season. And there might only be a pre-contract agreement with Bayern Leverkusen, with Bayern Munich, I beg your pardon, to move the upper season. Which players, it favors a 3 at the back kind of formation. We are hearing that Madrid are interested, surprisingly, in Bournemouth centre-back. Dan
Harrison.
Surprisingly,
He's from Spain.
Yeah, I know.
We have around him. I think he was in the team that went to you. Was he in the team that went to you? No, but he has been called up several times.
Yeah.
So the surprise for me is,
the guy that scored Arsenal, right?
It could be that maybe XABI Alonso is already building his own team.
Yeah.
I think
Madrid.
And we saw a resemblance of what the team is going to look like. We saw them, they gave promotion to some of their, players from the Calista. We saw Ramon Jacobo scoring the winner against Real Mallorca.
It looks like, for what it is, XABI is also prepared for challenge ahead.
The thing is this, right? It's not everybody that's going to be like, what's his name, Ancelotti. It's not everybody that's going to be as quick as Ancelotti.
Ancelotti, yeah, I agree.
Now that's the issue. If, like I said, if Madrid is going not trophyless this season, then it's a bit distant because the pressure is going to be much.
Of course.
And under pressure,
we saw it last night.
Under pressure, you might crack.
There were whistles and grumbles.
Under pressure, you might crack. Now, does he have what it takes? The emotional intelligence. Does he have? Can he control these things? Now, when the pressure comes so much, will he be able to sit down and make reasonable selection, playing against any team? When the pressure becomes so, because by the time you lose 2-3 matches, by the time you're probably 4-5 points behind Barcelona, the noise will start.
Like our
nobody will wait
to say, can you stay when the kitchen is hot?
Yeah, nobody will say, he's coming in. For players, that may be justification. This is first game. For Mbappe, we know how he started very slow. First game, 2 game, give him time and with this thing. But for a coach, it's different. If
you
a
have
team,
to hit the ground running.
Now for a player, even if you're not playing very well, you have a teammate probably that could actually be doing well. So you might not be doing well, but your team is
winning. Clubs are no longer patient with managers.
That just is like a plague right now. I don't know where this is coming from. And it does not work. Most clubs are no longer not that impatient has actually worked for clubs. No, it has not. It has not, when compared to the percentage of the ones that actually, patients paid more in the longer run. I mean, in the long run than inpatient. You might have 1 or 2 cases of inpatient being paying off, but in most cases, patient pay more. So that is, he's coming into an arena where the pressure is high.
So for you,
it is too sudden. And it's too sudden. Probably, they should have probably gotten somebody who studied the ship for 1 year. Then he can continue from there. If you ask me, but the thing is in again, at what cost? Do they have the money to be doing all this? You understand? Then how about stability? That will be the question again. How about stability? You understand? Because a manager will come, he'll study the ship with his own style of play. By the time he comes again, how will he? But I still understand these things. Just a gamble, but whether I like it or not, personally, it's stepped in the wrong direction.
Well, personally, for Uncanny Sam, it's a step in the wrong direction for XABI Alonso, for Otumba. It feels like the time is right, you know, for XABI Alonso to take that step and go and become the next manager of Real Madrid. He suffered just 13% loss in the entire time in his time with Bayer Leverkusen. If you ask me, that is very, very good a mark to score anybody winning close to 61% of the games he played as coach of Bayer Leverkusen.
In the last two, like you say, you call me an Arsenal apologist, right? Even though I'm not an Arsenal fan. In the last 3 seasons, right? I think I did not suffer up to that number of losses. The percentage of losses. But guess what? He couldn't win a trophy.
19 losses in 2 seasons.
Guess what? He couldn't win a trophy.
But he did not even suffer up to 19.
He couldn't win a trophy.
The entire time he's at Bayer Leverkusen.
No, I'm talking about in the league alone. In the league alone.
No, in the league.
Last season, Arteta suffered how many?
Last season, one.
Defeat. No, I think 4 or 5. This season again, 4 or 5.
This season 6 alone. No. Just Bayer Leverkusen suffered just 4
Arsenal suffered just 5 seasons. I mean, just 4 defeats. I mean, 5 defeats. I mean, 4 defeats, yeah. That of Liverpool would have made it 5. Yeah. You understand? So you can see different case, different scenario, different everything here.
And we're talking about 2 players, 2 managers that were very close friends from childhood. Coming out of the Barcelona.
Let me put you both on the spot. XABI Alonso or Arteta?
Well, result. Come on, XABI Alonso, of course.
XABI
Alonso, of course. Results. Achievements so far. XABI Alonso. Forget about
this.
I mean, really, I know what they're trying to do.
I am shocked.
I know what they're trying to do.
I am shocked.
I know what they're trying to do.
That Uncanny Sam has admitted that trophy over performance.
Of course, it's the most important thing, but you consider control overall.
When you speak about Arsenal, you bend trophy.
I didn't bend trophy.
You bend trophy.
I did not bend trophy.
So, but when it comes to XABI Alonso,
trophy is the most important.
Trophy.
No. Okay. I said trophy is the most important thing. But the thing is this, right? It's because of trophy.
But we should also look at performance.
That is it. We've actually
but in XABI Alonso's case, we are not looking at trophy. So you admit, Uncanny Sam, that you
put them side by side right now with what they, I mean, somebody go to the
Arsenal or Bayer Leverkusen?
Arsenal, of course.
On what ground?
On what ground?
Are you comparing?
The success of Bayern in the last 2 years and Arsenal.
I don't now. That's the issue.
That's why I'm going. Yes, now success.
We're talking about
even on football consistency.
No, but gameplay. Arsenal.
You're talking about a club that won their first title.
Forget about it still doesn't matter.
Are you comparing Bayer Leverkusen to you?
He did it. No,
in a league that is dominated by one team.
Otumba, he did it. They've won it. They go to Champions
what you did that make you
wise
proud.
Last 2 seasons.
They repeated the unbeaten.
Last 2 seasons. They went on trophy wise. Come on, Bayer Leverkusen, you can't take it away from there. You have to give it that. As a matter of fact, we were even miffed here when he was not given the coach of the year.
Yeah, we were.
We were miffed. We were like, come on, who's supposed to get this thing? When unbeaten, get to the final unbeaten. He only lost. Almost the same thing happened to you in 2005, right? When you went unbeaten, then you go to Champions League final 2 unbeaten. Then you still lost.
Unbeaten. After through 12 games.
Excuse me.
How do you draw? Temple G's brought to you by Hazard Studios.
How many games?
Unbeaten is not drawing 13 games to win a Premier League season. You are winning 47% of your matches. That is not unbeaten. Temple Gist brought to you by Hazard Studios. The fact that Uncanny Sam has agreed that XABI Alonso is better than Mikel Arteta, I agree. But the reality is that you cannot touch the garment of XABI Alonso.